Hello! Today we're going to learn some stuff about angles. So think back to what you know about angles. All right. So angles, you've learned this in the past. There's different types of angles. There's a right angle, which we just learned with Pythagorean theorem, right? A right angle means it equals 90 degrees. That's one type of angle. Another type of angle is called an acute angle. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees, right? A little teeny acute angle, right? Obtuse angle is bigger than 90 degrees, right? So anything bigger than 90 degrees, it's wider than 90 degrees, right? And a straight angle makes a straight line. That's why it's called a straight angle. And that is 180 degrees, right? So those are kind of important to know about whenever you're working with angles, right? Today we're going to learn some new angles, some new types of angles. And this first type of angle we're going to learn is called complementary angles. Complementary angles. So complementary angles are any two angles that when you add them together, that's what sum means, right? When there's sum, when you add them together, it equals, means equals, it equals 90 degrees. Okay, so 30 plus 60, these two are complementary angles because 30 plus 60 would give us 90 degrees, right? These two, 1 and 2, are complementary because angle 1 and angle 2, I see if I add this angle 1 to this angle 2, it's going to make up this bigger angle here, which is a right angle, because I know that because there's a little box here, right? That's a right angle. So I know a right angle equals 90 degrees, and complementary angles are any angles that add up to give me 90 degrees. So therefore, 1 and 2 are complementary angles. Okay? All right, so it says if x and y are complementary, fill in the chart below. So we know that x plus y is going to equal 90 because we said complementary angles are 90 degrees, right? So what do we know about this? So x plus y is going to equal 90. So that if two angles are complementary, both angles must be acute angles, right? Because acute, we just talked about, we just reviewed, acute means it's less than 90. So if I'm adding two numbers together to get to equal 90, it has to be less than 90, right? So the two things I'm looking for are acute angles. All right, so how do I find this? All right, so 15. All right, so if it's 15, what plus 15 will give me 90? Or I could do it this way. I can plug 15 into my equation here for x. So 15 plus y equals 90. If I want to get y by itself, I would do minus 15, right? Minus 15, minus 15, and that would be 75. So y would be 75, right? Because that would get rid of this. It would be y equals 90 minus 15, 75. All right, so if I'm finding out what 30 is, x is 30, so I would do 90 minus 30. Just like this, so 90 minus 30 would be 60. 45, well this means this would be 45, because 45 plus 45 gives me 90. 60 plus 30 gives me 90. 75 plus 15 gives me 90. Okay, so complementary angles are any two angles that add up together and give you 90 degrees. All right, it says how can we remember that complementary angles add up to 90 degrees? One way I remembered this, complementary starts with C and it makes a corner, right? A corner is a 90-degree angle, right? Like corner of a door or your desk or anything like that is 90 degrees. Corner starts with C, complementary starts with C, starts with 90, right? There's multiple ways you can remember it, but think of another way if you can. How are you gonna memorize why complementary angles add up to 90? All right, the next type of angle we're going to learn is called supplementary angles. And supplementary angles is their sum or add. Sum means add, right? The sum of their measure is 180 degrees, right? So supplementary angles make a straight line, and a straight line is 180 degrees. So how can we remember supplementary angles add up to 180? Well, it makes a straight line. It makes a straight line, and a straight line starts with S. Supplementary starts with S. So therefore, you can remember that supplementary means 180. All right, so supplementary means if you add the two angles together, you get 180. So 135 plus 45. If I add those together, that gives me 180 degrees. So these would be supplementary. 3 and 4, I can see that this makes a straight line, right? So if I took angle 3 here, and I added it to angle 4 here, those two angles would make up this bigger angle, this straight angle down the bottom, right? So I can tell that these two are supplementary. All right, so supplementary what we have to do is we have to see what the thing is that equals 180, right? So just like how we did before, x plus y is going to equal 180, right? So if I know x is 30, and I want to get y by itself because I got to figure out what y is, right? I got to figure out what y is. I would subtract these two, right? I would do minus 30 to get rid of this and leave me with y. And I would do the same thing over here, right? 180 minus 30 would give me 150, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking 180 and I'm subtracting the one I know, right? So 180 minus 60 would be 120. 180 minus 90 would be 90. 180 minus 120 would be 60. And 180 minus 150 would be 30, right? So supplementary angle means that these two angles add up and give you 180 degrees. The way you can remember that is 180 degrees is a straight line. Supplementary starts with S, straight line starts with S, so it's a good way to memorize that. All right, another word you might need to know is this word adjacent. All right, and adjacent, all it means is next to. They're next to each other. They're touching their common side. Think of it like townhouses. Everybody knows what a townhouse looks like, right? So a townhouse is a house, and it has a house right next to it, right? These townhouses are adjacent to each other. They're sharing a common wall. They share a common wall. So this one says like 1 and 2 are adjacent. Here's 1, here's 2. They're adjacent because they share this common wall, just like my townhouses. They share a common wall, right? 2 and 4 are not adjacent because they don't share a common wall. So let's see here. 2 and 4 will be here and here. They don't share a common wall. They're opposites of each other, right? 3 and 1 do not share a common wall, right? So if they don't share a common wall, like our townhouses, they don't share a side together, like 3 and 2 would be adjacent because they have this common wall. They're like our townhouses, right? 3 and 4 are adjacent. They're like our townhouses. They share a common side. If they don't share a common wall, they are not adjacent. They're called non-adjacent, okay? So adjacent is kind of a key word you have to memorize. And all adjacent means is next to. They're right next to each other, literally right next to each other, right on top of each other. They share a common side. All right, and the last angles we have to learn about are called vertical angles. And vertical angles are the ones that are opposite of each other. They're like 1 and 3 here are vertical angles. They're across from each other. And something you need to know about them is that they are equal or congruent to each other. So let's say 1 here was 140 degrees. I don't know exactly what it is, but let's just say it's 140 degrees. All right, so if that's 140 degrees, that means that this 3 would also be 140 degrees. So vertical angles are equal to each other, congruent. And you can kind of see that, like this angle here, right? This angle here looks about the same as this angle here, right? That kind of makes sense. So you can kind of see that. So vertical angles are congruent. They're equal to each other. All right? Same way this way, like 2 and 4 here, they are vertical angles. So they would be equal. So let's say like this one equaled, I don't know, 40. Let's say 2 equaled 40. Well, if this equals 40, then this would equal 40, right? So vertical angles are congruent or equal, all right? And you can, like you see this side is this side, they look about the same opening, right? So you can kind of see that. Vertical angles are across from each other and they're congruent or equal, all right? All right, below it says, are these angles complementary, supplementary, vertical, or neither? Explain your answer. All right, so remember, complementary means they add to 90 degrees, makes a corner. Corner starts with C, complementary starts with C. Supplementary adds to 180 degrees. Supplementary makes a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees, so 180 degrees is supplementary. Vertical means that they're across from each other, like this one, 40 and 40, and they're equal or congruent. And neither means anything else except for those 3. Okay? What I want you to do, pause the video, try these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on your own. All you have to do is say, is it complementary, supplementary, vertical, or neither? Pause the video, try it on your own, unpause when you're done to check your work. All right, hopefully you paused the video and tried these on your own, and these are the answers you shall get. So supplementary, this one's supplementary, 70 plus 110 will give you 180. Supplementary is 180. This one's complementary, 41 plus 49 gives you 90. 90 is complementary. These two are neither. This one is neither, because 128 plus 62, that would give me 190. 190 is nothing. That's not complementary or supplementary. It's nothing. It's neither. Right? This one is vertical. They're across from each other, right? Across from each other is vertical. And this one over here is neither. It looks like it'd be 90 if I combine these two, but it's super close. Look, 70 plus 19 will give me 89, not 90, right? So it's almost complementary, but it's not complementary because it doesn't give me 90. All right, complementary makes a corner. Corner is 90 degrees. Complementary is 90 degrees. Supplementary makes a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. Supplementary is 180 degrees. Vertical are across from each other. Across from each other, and they are equal or congruent, right? Adjacent angles are next to each other. They share a common wall. They share a common side, like our townhouse example, right? Townhouses are adjacent to each other. All right, that is angle vocabulary. That is what we're going to be working on this unit. If you have any questions, please ask a teacher, and I will see you next time. Bye!